Peace. And we are back again for another episode of Think Muzic Podcast.
Hello, everyone.
I am the Gnosis, aka the Word.
I'm Dunlap.
And we in the building. So tonight's topic is, let me go back over here to pull this topic back up. A deep dive into the mysteries of prayer. Deep dive into the mysteries of prayer. You know, that word is once you kind of go into the new age / conscious / metaphysical / occult world, that's a taboo word to use. Prayer in many instances, you know. But we're gonna tackle it tonight, and hopefully share some perspectives that will help to broaden all of our perspectives, put it that way. I know one thing I want to say before we get started is that the nodes of the moon right now are Gemini and Sagittarius. And I think this is a fitting conversation based on the moonal nodes, because Sagittarius, associated with Jupiter, deals with partly one's philosophical / religious viewpoint or outlook. It's broad reaching, but it can be stagnant in a sense, based on being locked into, this is what I believe, this is what I know, this is my truth. Peace, Lance.
Peace, Lance.
And peace, Brianna.
Peace, honey.
Well, the North Node is in Sagittarius, is in Gemini. So whereas Sagittarius is broad-reaching, the big picture, the philosophical truth, the religious truth, Gemini is short distance, which means in one instance, consideration of the facts that are right in front of my face. Consideration of different perspectives. And so with the North Node being in Gemini, I think this is a fitting discussion, because whether someone is a quote unquote religious person or not, they may be fixed in how they view certain aspects.
Mm-hmm.
And Gemini is the evolutionary trajectory for us as a collective, with the North Node in Gemini, beckoning us to not be so fixed in our positions, and to consider and then maybe reconsider our stances. And what's up, Serious Biz?
Peace, serious.
And from that standpoint, I think we want to launch into our discussion, a deep dive into the mysteries of prayer. So I want to just give some foundation here. Since we speak English and we're speaking English now, I want to look at the word prayer, tracing it back to its Indo-European roots. And this book, I encourage everybody to get this book. At least get this book. Okay.
We got that book because of you, good brother.
No doubt. And here's another good one.
Okay.
Another good companion to that one.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
What up, BD? Thanks for checking in, good brother.
Oh, that's hometown.
Yeah, that's my man.
Okay. So in the red book, it lists the Indo-European root for the word prayer as perk. That's P-E-R-K. So the root is like a family. It's a family. It's like my last name is Robinson, but you got a lot of different characters who come under the Robinson family. So when they give you a root, it's giving you the name of a family, so to speak. So Perk would be the name of that family that prayer emerges from, because you got other words that come out of that family too. It means to entreat. Okay. Now, I also have to say, because this is one of the arguments that spiritual / conscious people, some of them would say that you shouldn't pray because it's begging. Well, they're right. The Latin peccare, which is associated with the root perk, means beg. Okay. But as we go through our discussion, I guess we're going to come to find some conclusion or common ground about, all right, if I am begging, is it really that bad?
Right. Because I heard that begging too, and it was like, so it was like, I heard it that way, but then I also heard praying is for asking for something, and meditation is for receiving. So you pray when you need something, then you meditate when you want to receive something. That's kind of how I heard it coming up. Also, just a sidebar.
Right. Right. And people will also say that when you pray, you are giving energy to the demiurge, Aldebaoth. Okay. So we want to make sure that we just make it known that we didn't become woke like last week, and we've been around, so we're familiar with these, and some of these are arguments that I have used.
And it was also said to me that's why with your prayer, so my uncle had a church in New Jersey, and when we used to go to his church, that's where I heard that speaking in tongues was a way to confound the devil on hearing your prayers to God. That's what speaking in tongues was. As I came up. So that kind of reminds me of like that same thing, like, because it was told to me like that, and we're talking Christian concepts. So, and at the time when I'm hearing this, I'm like 12, 13, between 11 and 13. So it's like, I'm just going by what I hear, but it's something I've heard in the past of like, you need to learn how to speak in tongues because God can understand what you're saying, but the devil can't. So that just when you said that about, that just gave me a reminder of that.
Well, I tell you what, along those lines, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna volley it to you. I'm gonna circle back.
Mm-hmm.
What I did was when I said that word entreat,
Mm-hmm.
aside from the begging uh, uh, aspect, entreat, I said, okay, I need to look up the word entreat. So entreat comes from the root trag, Tragh. Now that means to draw, to pull, to carry. Now see, now we got us a little standoff here
Mm-hmm.
because from a more spiritual, quote unquote, spiritual standpoint,
Yes.
when we're talking about, I don't pray, I manifest or I pull the energy to me, I draw it to me, right?
Yes.
It almost what we got going here is a issue of semantics and not really about a conceptual uh, disagreement or opposition. It seems like semantics because, and this is why I like to look at the origin of words, because sometimes when we're saying things, we're speaking from limited linguistic knowledge. And then we can get into debates and arguments over concepts that are really not the antithesis to each other. You know, Serious Biz says, entrust or trust is what I always say, not I pray. So, with that, what is prayer to you, good brother?
So I just wrote down, I was told to pray for others and not for yourself. So you just said entreat, and that made me think about um passing that on to others. Um my prayer, when I pray, it's not it's my prayer is this today is I ask for protection of a person. I ask for um the removal of negative energy and the removal of impurities. Now, and it's like I was telling you the other day, if I'm praying for someone, it's an add-on to you because you're still living your own individual life and you still have your own relationship with God, be it you do or not. You know what I mean? My belief is like we all come from, the most high. So that's how I go into it. And I was also told, like I said, not to you don't pray for yourself; someone else prays for you. Um, so that's how I move around with it. Uh, and I think when I got into the book, The Secret, my cousin gave me this book years ago, and I read it. I was up at her house, and I read it while I was there, and I didn't get the book at first until later on. And then I didn't know about intention and all of that stuff as people talk about, like, because she was like, yo, you got to get you a vision board. And she showed me her vision board and you put everything on there that you want, like the manifest thing. And I didn't really understand that. But what I do know is that when I was in the program in '09, I began to tap it. Excuse me. I began to tap into prayer, and I began to meditate and pray daily, and for a long time. I believe things that now somebody, someone outside of the religious scope can say, well, that was just intention you put out in the universe and it circled back. And I think we can say me and you personally, especially on the music, have put some things out and they're starting to come forth. And we put them out a while back. But it's also that saying of like, they say, well, God's going to answer your prayers in his time. And, so whether you believe that or not, I'm not sure. But I do know that I prayed one specific prayer is I asked for a woman that was searching for God like me. And I always kept that. And after I left the program and I got back into regular life, I came across women, but I always had that in the back of my mind. So there were certain things I was looking for in these relationships to like give me a clue. Because I've always heard my mom say like she pray for things and then she waits to get the cue from it, like of like this is what God wants. And I never understood it. I'm like, yo, how do you know it's right? Like I just never like, and my mom's been praying for, a long time. And she was like, I pray on things and then God will reveal it to me. And I'm like, well, how you know? So coming into my prayers, that was the same thing. I was like, I had that in the back of my mind. I just took the concept of what I was taught about God. Like God's not a God of confusion. He's not going to put you in a position you're not supposed to be. Like all these different things I've heard. So I was kind of using that as a gauge. And then I got sick. And when Brianna, before we got married, obviously she was my girlfriend. And I seen humanity in her that I've never seen in another woman. So that was the first thing. And what it was I had my two sons here with me and I got sick. I went to the emergency. And that night she was like, now mind you, like I knew her from, because my job had me interact with her in her job in a way. So I knew her, but it was like when she offered this, she was like, well, I'll just stay with your children and I'll wake up and, I iron their clothes and get them ready for school. And now in my mind with the woman I've dealt with, it was like, yo, like a woman has never done that for me. Like I've never offered anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And it was different, right? Because other chicks would be, well, your mom live upstairs, and, because at the time, me and my mom lived in the same complex. I was on the first floor, my mom was on the second. My mom could have handled that. You know what I mean? She would have handled that. Like, okay, you got to stay overnight because I wound up being in the hospital 7 days, and she was like, my mom would have made sure they was cool, right? So she took that on. And that was the first inkling where I was like, yo, this might be what I was asking for. And then as we got to talking and I started seeing where she was at mentally, where, she did some college, like she graduated school, she did some college, she was an excellent student. And I was just bugged out like, yo, she got it. And she had started going to church. So we started studying in the beginning of our relationship. And she used to break down the it was our first day he set up with a wife and oh yeah, she's crazy. And so it was like I started seeing like the way she could break down the Bible and this and that. So I was like, yo, like this could maybe, this could maybe be something. And long story short, we wind up, she got pregnant. We decided to get married and we've been together ever since. But it was just little things that I was like, yo, I think this might be the one. But I was praying on that in 2009. I met her before like we even started dating. I met her in like maybe 2012, and then we was just interacting through our jobs. And then, we wind up, hanging out after work, started dating and blase. So that was like the first inkling of like, your prayers can be answered. But what I knew also was that you have to maintain when you get blessings, right? Because you could find the right woman, but then if I ain't in the right place, it's not going to last. So when me and her met, I just started letting her know what I was looking for in a woman. And, then we started talking about past relationships and things like that. and I kind of had like what I was looking like, what I was gonna accept and not accept, and we just blossomed from there. But I also knew like I had to do work on myself to keep it, because I know like my belief was like as God give blessings, He can take blessings away. You know what I mean? So I was like, when you get something, you still have to maintain it. It's not like it's a layup. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
um it's like, yo, you still got to do the work. And that's what we've been doing ever since. And that's why we together. Because, we have cards on the table, talk, we do the work. But I feel like she's the one for me. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my prayers was answered. So, um, and it, I don't know, man. I just think that we can we can put things into the atmosphere and they'll circle back to you. You just have to be prepared and ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just like a real, that's a real testament of what praying for something has done, or asking for something has done for me, man. Um I'll pass it back.
That's real. That's real. And like I said, this is a taboo discussion to have, which is ironic. But as I think back, I had a solid foundation coming up, especially with my old man, and a lot of the things I've encountered in my journey and my studies and so forth, they have been compelling. But if you have a solid foundation, it has to trump everything else. And what I'm getting at is in 2012, my old man had the first of two strokes. So I hear about it. We hop in the truck. We drive to North Carolina, check on my old man. He was overjoyed, because it's like my cousin came, the one, that you've seen on the video. He came from
Yeah, we got to get
the
him on
east.
the video.
Yeah, we got to get him on a one night. He came from the coast of North Carolina to come over. I came from Texas. My old man was just like, hey, make an old man feel good. I'll see all you youngins coming here and check on me, and.
Right.
But he still had enough wherewithal. He knew that I was into all these studies. Now I was heavy into, everything. And I remember as a child always seeing that he had this orange book. I got it over here. I remember seeing it all the time on his bookshelf. And the book was called The Isis Unveiled. That's the name of it.
Mm.
And it's by Helena Blavatsky, who was the founder of the Theosophical Society.
Yes, the Secret Doctrine.
Yeah, that's right. She's the author of the Secret Doctrine as well, 2-volume set. So it turns out that's what he had. He only had volume 2. So he had already made an initial foray into the world of metaphysics and occult studies. But you got to think this is the 70s when he was, and 80s when he was making this initial pioneering voyage. So he ain't got, who can he talk to?
Right.
So he handed me that book. He said, I want you to take this. And he said, but let me tell you something. He said, son, I want you to be very careful. This stuff can turn you into an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
And those words, ding, 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 just ping. They have I still remember like it was yesterday. I've never forgotten what he said, and I didn't ask any questions. And at that time, I'm thinking, oh, Daddy tripping. What you mean, man? I'm a god. What you you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm
you
on
and your ex clan right now.
yeah, I'm on my Bobby Hemming. What you talking about, pops? And you know that's wisdom.
Mhm.
That's what wisdom does. It does not need to go into details. It just gives you what you need to hear, and you'll be able to circle back to it when the time is right.
Mhm.
Needless to say, okay, my pops passed in 2014, and during that era and the years after, a few years after, I'm gonna be honest. There were times I really just did not feel that there was any supreme energy, divine
Mm.
energy that was a coagulation of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Oh, Nate said what was the book was Isis Unveiled by Helena Blavatsky. And so I needless to say there wasn't no praying going on,
Mhm.
you know, and to me there was nothing nowhere but me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like everything I needed to get done, I needed to do a ritual, um, some type of something, altar work, something of that nature to get it done.
Mhm.
Now, this is what I'm leading up to. I don't see prayer now from a religious standpoint.
Right.
I had to get away from, I don't regret any of my journey. I had to get away from the church and Christendom to and go all the way to the other side, so to speak, so that I could find the middle.
Mhm.
That's for me. And the middle to me is figuring out how do I find where all roads intersect? Because you see, when you if you there's so much information that says you got to go this way or that way. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? We talked about the begging motif earlier. We talked about the aspect of you giving up your energy to, and you hear all that. That's cool. But I
Mhm.
also know that my grandmother lived through depression and raised three children after her husband died.
Mm.
I know that my great great grandmother walked 3 miles to go clean somebody's house at 80 years old, you know, and these people did not know about working with this deity or setting up this altar, or they didn't know about, how to draw down this. They were, in today's society, would be considered ignorant folk.
Mhm.
They just, they prayed.
Exactly.
So, am I to dismiss the force that was behind them? Because we're on the internet now. We're sitting here in our homes comfortably in front of a computer with some cameras.
Right.
These people had to walk in the snow had to walk in the boiling heat of the summer, might have to walk half a mile to get to a bus stop to catch a bus all the way across town to the affluent neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take care of somebody's house and their children, catch the bus back home, and then got to come and take care of their own children. Am I to be as dismissive and arrogant to say that whatever was backing them was nothing when I have all the luxuries that I have right now, and I don't know the measure of suffering that they had to endure? So it has led me to Gemini,
Mm-hmm.
reconsider my perspectives on things, and to go back to my roots, not as going to church,
Mm-hmm.
but to look to merge. And I want to read a quote from the red book I showed. To plow is to pray, to plant is to prophesy. To plow is to pray, to plant is to prophesy. And that comes from the philosophy of Ingersoll. That's the book it comes from. So here's my question. Is there a way to merge the concepts of prayer and magic?
Mm.
So I want to throw this out. I think prayer is a feminine activity. I think planting seeds is the masculine activity. When the Bible says faith without works is dead. So here's the thing. Whether you go and look at the Book of the Dead or any other so-called holy text, there's references to agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
Planting seeds, cultivating crops, harvesting, right?
Yes.
Well, anytime you look at agriculture, it also has a sexual undertone. Semen is seed.
Mm-hmm.
Ground receives semen, seed, feminine. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'm considering, you said you prayed for your wife, you found her.
And
Okay?
yeah. Yep.
We also, though, with our music, it ain't like we've got on him like, okay, brother, we're gonna say this prayer that Think Music is gonna be the we ain't never done nothing like that. But we've had conversations about yeah, you know, we don't make this organic. We need to get an interview on such and such and blah blah blah. And then these things start coming.
Mm-hmm.
So to me it says don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We can see how both sides work.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it starts making my mind go, oh, now we're starting, to me, I'm starting to see a more rounded perspective of what manifestation is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, and to be honest, I come back to that.
Yeah, I think Sirius Biz said something that says, is it possible for self mastery, no matter what we each call it, enlightenment, awakening, in tune, tapped in, talking to God, talking to nature, talking back to and God and nature talking back to you instantaneous?
Yes.
It's what I said about looking outside. You know, that's my whole concept of like, yo, you could see everything within us is outside of us, right? Even with the, you know, with the copulation between man and woman, when you look at the baby is encased in the womb, then it's in the placenta, and it's attached to there's the umbilical cord is attached, and that's how the baby is fed through the mother, bro. Like, it's all right there, bro. It's all in nature. You know what I'm saying? We're just looking for, I think we're looking for someone that looks like us to just come down and tap in. And there's so many different organisms around that we're programmed into that. So when we get into the concept of tapping into the, because once you get out of church, you start, you're tapping into the universe and the all, the all being, the prime source and all of that. Listen, if I am talking to that thing, it's the creation of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever in my limited understanding, whatever the highest thing is of creation, because something created this. You know what I mean? Now, is it nefarious or whatever? I'm not gonna sit here and say I know, but I know I did. Like, I always say, like, if I created myself, why would I tell myself how I did it? Like, why would I create myself and then erase the memory of how I created myself? So, am I thinking of right now today? Like, I feel like something created me. I came from something. Now, if I start paying attention to nature, I start seeing how nature maneuvers, like how you were saying with the seed and the ground. Like, that's the same thing we do as humans with production. We're producing each other. Tapping back into what you said about the older generation tapping in. Listen, fam, they were tapping into an energy that the same Christ tapped into in the Bible. If Christ knew he had to die, why was he begging for life? You know what I'm saying? Like, he was going to his source, and God's supposed to be, Jesus or Christ is supposed to be a part of the Godhead. Like it shouldn't be no issue with that, but he was still tapping in. You know what I mean? According to the book, he was on the mountain tapping in, right? When his negative consciousness came and said, you got, and see, I don't look at it like the physical devil came to him and was like, yo, we can rule this together. His ego came to him because he knew how he had the people. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, it was like he was meditating on, and I'm this is just my thought. This is a metaphysical thought of what Christ was doing on that mountain. He had a chance to be this this ruler of all things. And then his negative ego came in and was like, bro, like, why you keep tapping to that good side? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was the Tom and Jerry cartoon. When Tom always got the devil on one shoulder and God on one shoulder, and with Tom, it seemed like the devil always prevails, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's so funny. It's so funny because a couple weekends ago, I took Niaz to go see it, and the devil in the joint in the cartoon, it popped up. I was like, that's like a classic scene. But Christ's negative energy tapped in on that mountain, bro, and said, listen, we can have, like, yo, you can have all of this. Because he knew this, he knew how he was controlling the people. Not controlling them, but he knew how he was tapping into the people. And people was coming towards him. So our programming with coming through church is like, yo, if I know that I can touch someone, now I have to deal in integrity, right? Because I got these people. They're listening to me. They're hanging on words. And this is something we tap in before. We love a person that can speak well and share our point of view. So if I'm a person that got a little following, and we'll just keep it on YouTube. We won't go all over. And I can begin to sell you things. Mm-hmm. I can sell you merch. I could sell you lectures. I could sell you I started a Patreon, and if you like the tone of my voice and the information I share, you become my congregation. And on the upper side, and on the other side of it, you become their Messiah. So we're looking for the Messiah, but the Bible's been telling you that it's all within you. You who you looking for. Because there's no order without you being in order, bro. Like, my marriage isn't healthy if I'm not working. Like if my wife was coming to me like, yo, Tyrone, like come, like, yeah, you know, and I'm like, this is just who I am. You got to deal with it. It's done. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap. Right? So it's like, so for you to keep something healthy, you got to work on you. That's what it's telling us, bro. The world is in flux is because there's no order in the world, bro. It's too many different things, and you got people harping on a particular way of giving out information and receiving information. It's the Messiah complex, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's the Messiah, and we see it in our community a lot. You know, we lost, Malcolm, the triune, Malcolm, Martin, and Marcus. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, Cats is waiting for the new one, but there's no new one. There's no new one.
And Cats is lobbying to be
The
considered as the one when they really don't want to wear that crown, the responsibility that comes with it. They just want to be able to get the spoils.
Tariq Nasheed said that flat out. I heard him say it out of his own mouth. I don't want to be the guy because the guy always die. I just want to share information. Don't make me the head. Mm-hmm. Because that's what everybody know. So it's like, that's why it comes back to individualism. Selfishness. Not selfish, selfless individualism. So, so when you get these downloads that, oh man, like I need to exercise, or you get these downloads like you need to do something different, bro, that's coming from, now you call it what you want to call it. I say it's coming from the prime creator for me. You know what I'm saying? And everything, and I look at it like this. What I'm doing in my life, if it's working for me, it's for me. Now I could share with you what I'm doing and how things are working in my life. It may not necessarily be everything that I'm telling you, might not be a play-by-play book for you to do it for yourself, but I'm just telling you what I've done for me. And this life is an individual journey. You know what I'm saying? You just cohabitating with people. You're choosing to be with a woman, or a woman's choosing to be with a man that it feels right to you internally. Because they didn't cut off our they're trying to cut off our what is it? Help me out, fam.
Connection.
But yeah, it's like
in
that.
What regard?
I'm trying to figure it out, man. I can't even. It'll come back to me, but yeah, bro, they trying to cut off your ability to use your first mind. I'll just say that. It's a word I can't. Intuition. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because the further you go back, that Cats was, in my understanding, Cats was tapping into intuition. But you nullify intuition with Messiah, looking for the Messiah. You know what I'm saying?
You also nullify intuition. Look, social media, first of all, we got to make this clear. Social media is set up to retard human development at the high school stage. So at high school, you're at the peak of your hormonal explosiveness, and you're at the peak of your insecurity. So you are always looking for confirmation and affirmation of your worth from the crowd, your peers. In some regard, we've all been through that in high school, getting caught up with the crowd, or fads or trends. Social media was designed to create that reality for adults and to take advantage of the fact that many adults have not come to peace with the high school version of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So how does that apply to our conversation? Social media is about follow the leader. Who's most popular? Who's popping? Who does everybody like the most? And so the race has become the most liked person to control narratives, which can then help you control your income. And so some things we are not going to consider as a collective because they aren't popular.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel to piggyback on what you're saying, that's another aspect. It's not popular. You know, this conversation is not. This is not no front page conversation right here. You understand what I'm saying? You're not even supposed to say this word.
Right.
But I think one key thing you said is what works for me.
That's what it is.
And
that's what you were saying about with your aunt. I believe you said growing up in the Depression, bro. Like she was praying, and then she was getting benefit from it. You can't nullify that.
What? Right. We can't. Yeah, you just can't.
You can't
It's
tell me it doesn't work.
Say that again.
I said, like, yeah, you can't tell me it doesn't work. Like, if I did something and it worked, like, you can't tell me it don't work.
And I think too, what we need to clarify is when people say the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
I think some people are put off by that because many of the occult studies, the way they're no, I'm not going to say the way they're presented, the way they are understood are from the perspective of there's nothing above me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem of the internet is that it eliminates the toil of having to learn. And you can click on this video and that video and get bits and pieces, and now you're super woke, you're super spiritual, you're super powerful, super magical.
Mm-hmm.
But it retards the maturity process that's supposed to come along with having to sit with information until it becomes knowledge and until it becomes wisdom. So the Cabalion says the mind is all and all is mental. So that means that yes, there is a higher vibration of what you and I and everyone else represent here on this plane.
Mm-hmm.
But that vibration is not separate from you and I. If the mind is all and all is mental, there can be no separation between the all and anything because the all is everything.
Right.
So getting past the semantics that trap us in words. If a person says the word prayer, they in Arabic it's salah. It's prostrating. What is that really talking about? Humility.
Mm-hmm.
Humbling myself to myself,
Mm-hmm.
which is the divine. The divine is I and I am it. You understand? But the ego, that ego word again,
yes,
comes in and we're worrying about, well, how does that look? How does that appear? It appears I'm bowing down to something. I ain't bowing down. The ego. That's the ego. The true essence of what prayer is about humbling the ego,
Mm-hmm.
humbling the aspect of our existence that thinks it's real, that thinks the personalities that we wear are actually prominent to our actual inner fire. So it is saying I'm letting down the shield of this mask I wear because at the end it don't even fucking matter.
You're right.
I'm letting it down so that I can become one with source. But I think the way things are presented on this internet with all these factions and all these different representations, at the end of the day, capitalism is driving all of this.
Yes.
Because you need to have something that's separate. Jamal needs to have something that's separate from DAP so that I can sell my Jamal plan.
Mm.
And that's what it comes down to. It's capitalism. It's scarcity. It's fear of not being able to eat, which is a very three-dimensional earth contemplation. Am I going to be able to eat tonight?
Right.
Am I going to be able to pay rent? Let me go put some more pictures up on Instagram and go and run in front of this. Let me go run up into this neighborhood and pose in front of this $500 million house real quick before they call the police.
Mm-hmm.
With my little cheap suit on from Ross and look like I'm really doing it so I can sell this next plan I got. Cause I'm
Yep.
trying to eat.
Yep. And that's the programming to keep pushing you in that direction. And then because what I noticed too, man, with the praying and everything, it prepares me for the day. When I pray and meditate and I stretch and I relax my mind, bro, like when I come outside, I feel really great. I feel really great. And it's a thing of when I'm praying for others, like I said before, I don't know, it's my intention to put positivity over you, whatever you may be struggling with. You know what I'm saying? I've been in like when I knew for sure my mom was heavy into praying. I know I know I was relieved of a situation that was dire because of her prayer. Like I'll pass on with believing that, because what happened, the situation was it was right there for it to go left and it didn't. It was right there to go left and it didn't. So so when I got a download to go back into praying and meditating at the top of the year, I said it was no hesitation. I said this is what I need to do. I know we want to control our lives and we have, free will and all of those different things. But what is that's tapping into us to do something different? What is that's telling me I'm at a crossroads, and if I don't choose a different route, I may go down the path that I do not want to go down. You know what I'm saying? So, what is that? Now, yeah, we could say it's God. We could say, these different things. But what is that energy that comes down into you? And then do you have the wherewithal to listen to that energy and do the next thing to humble yourself? You know what I'm saying? Or do your ego kick in and say, this is who I am. This is how I'm going to go because this is just me. If I was who I was at 20, at 45, like I wouldn't be here right now. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be on this podcast at least. I'm not saying I would
Hell
be
no.
dead, but I wouldn't be on this podcast. And I
Not
might
on no
not even
Friday
be,
night.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
somewhere getting bopped off top. So so what is that energy? And for me, I think it's who created me that's coming to me to do something different. You know? And I don't know what that is. I'll be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I can't put a face to it. I can't put a finger on it. But I know I tap into it and I get positive things. But yes, I also have my ego. And I'm learning how to corral my ego. So that's what the work is for me as an individual. And I've seen, the funny thing about it is, bro, when you see something good come from it, bro, it works for me as an individual. So you got to be on you got to be on your individual thing, because this isn't about, this is for everybody. It's for me. And if it's working for me, that's it. You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at right now. I don't even ask for nothing physical in my prayer. You know what I'm saying? I'm past physical. You know what I'm saying? Like because the thing for me is I need that strong mental, bro. Like the physical, like we all need physical things. Don't get me wrong. Like obviously we need a house, we need something to drive, we need clothes. I get that part. We need material. I get that. But I don't ask for anything material wise. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Or at
I
least
like
I'm in a position to have to ask, at this moment. I'm more on the mental aspect of myself. I'll just say that.
I like to chime in because I don't think there's nothing wrong for asking for either one, because we live in a world. My cousin used to tell me this. He say those many of those sages of antiquity and classical era, so forth, they had their finances taken care of so that they could pursue their spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if you're trying to figure out how you're going to keep a roof over your head, it's very difficult to deep dive into your path. And it makes sense, because that's why all these little games are set up the way they are. You got to know the tricks to get your credit straight, not how to mess it up. You got to know the tricks about when you're buying. It's so many things when you're buying a house. It's so much stuff you don't know when you first buying a house, unless you come from a pedigree where you prepare for all these things,
Mm-hmm.
and all these things can affect your time, Saturn. So to me,
Mm-hmm.
if based on what Lance is asking, yes, I think there is a balance to be had between asking for physical things and spiritual, because I think it comes back to the word we always use, your intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you are projecting out into the universe that I want a new Lamborghini, then that's just, of course, that's just egoic. I want a new range. I want the extendo, the $125,000 range, versus I need transportation so that I have a job opportunity that can positively change my life. I need some transportation, you know, I need da da da. And then with this income, I'm going to be able to have more peace of mind. See what I'm saying? We, we live in it's the reality we live in, you got to have shit. So I think, to me, there is a balance to be had, and I think the separation comes in when it's your ego overriding um, your spirit.
Mm.
Me personally, you know, and I want to add this too, just like in our charts. You know what I'm saying? We got on the east side is my personality, or I'm responsible for my reality. The west side of the chart is more of fate, destiny. What's going to be is going to be. And I think it's a beautiful lesson in there um, about balance.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is somebody who's sitting around praying all day, or let's say if we just remove prayer and say somebody's doing their altar work, they're pouring their libations, they're calling on the deities every day, but this motherfucker lazy. This motherfucker don't want to work. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to scuff up his Nikes. He don't want to do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, this person needs a little more Eastern sun rising. Get your ass up, get out, and get something. He needs a little more of that aspect in his nature. But if they say if you got the person who's on the east side, it's all about nah. I control my reality. I get out here, I get it, son. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If I gotta get something, I get. This person can fuck around and have a goddamn heart attack
Mm-hmm.
because he don't know when to ease up and let the game come to him. So I feel like there's that's the hardest thing to do is find some balance. But I think that's ultimately, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's hard for people to tap in. Um, I think people have to find what their way is, because that same person will try to sell you his way of doing things, and that's just not your makeup. And some people, and it goes back to what I was saying earlier about what fits you, and you trying something. And I think that's where we at now, man. I feel like everyone's looking for that innate thing that's in us, and we're searching, like we're always searching for what we come from. I think it's just innately in us. And then you start you start listening to people, you're reading books, you're listening to lectures, you're trying to find it. And ultimately, for me, it comes to find out that um it's all within me of what I'm looking for. Because it's like um you could listen to a Gary V, but you might not have. It's like me and Jamal talk about this all the time. We listen to we follow these channels on how to grow your YouTube channel, right? And it's like
Just press record.
yeah, just go. It's like we be listening, and then you hear people, and they're like, "Yo, you got to post every day. You gotta, be on top of your social media." Me and Jamal be looking at each other like, I got a cousin. She's blowing up with her business. And I follow her on Instagram, and she but the funny thing about it is I see progression from it, but it's like everybody can't do that. You know what I mean? Everybody doesn't have that wherewithal to just always want to be posting to grow their channel. So it's like, how else can I do it? So you just do it by just, organically, just going on your channel, doing whatever. You might get 4 subscribers here, whatever. Or you could do the bum rush tactic, the 3 posts a day, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. And that's how, so just using that to look at the same thing of how we tap into our prayer. You know what I mean? Some people, it's like when I used to go to a job. Who was I was just talking to me and my man Brian was just talking about this. You ever been at a job and you just got that dude that his motor he got that motor, like every day he come in, he's just rolling. I told my man Brian, I was like, yo, I don't have that motor, Like if I can get done with everything I need to do with my motor, I'm cool. Like I seen those dudes come in. You know what I'm saying? We talking about like getting overtime at jobs too, bro. It's like, yo, we out here killing them. We out here killing them. I'm like, yo, I can kill them, but then when I don't want to kill them, I want to go home. Like I'm not that dude that's like, yo, just constantly on it. So everybody got their I think what it is, you gotta find what your way is, tap into that, and then you'll get some benefit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody way for you isn't for you. You can listen to it, try it, may not work, you move on. But that's what I come to notice, bro. Like if praying and I'm getting something from it is that's what I'm doing. If somebody's doing altar work and they're getting something from that, that's what they doing. If you smoking a panic pack and you opening your third eye, like and you getting something from that, like you know what I'm saying? Like there's all these different vibes, but I think it's just like religion. You got so many different religions, but at the end of the day, they all come back to the same thing. It's just a different way of getting there. You know, so if you Christian, Muslim, you into Judaism, you Seventh Day Adventist, all, most of y'all pulling from the same book anyway, except if you a Mormon, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? And Jehovah's Witness tap into a little something different, but at the end of the day, most of y'all coming from the same book and just interpreting the book in a different way. You know what I'm saying? It might see, oh well, this means this, and that's so everybody find a little move, but I always know this. I came up in Christianity. I've never spent any time in any other religion. As far as like participating in it. And I've prayed and I've seen a manifestation from it at the end of the day. And that's where that's for me, and I know I get downloads to do things for me and I tap into them, and that's how I'm running my life right now. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm running my life right now. I told Jamal this the other day. I'm like, yo, if all I got to do is worry about doing the speed limit, like I'm cool. Like I ain't in no areas I don't belong in. I ain't drinking. I ain't blowing no weed. I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to work on myself, be the best husband and father I could be, tap into this information, make good music, and that's it. Like I'm enjoying myself where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to have a successful business. You know what I mean? And I'm dealing in that realm. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing in that realm. And yeah, monkey, life is life and stuff come up. But through my prayer and meditation, bro, like, yeah, I'm tapped in right now. You know what I'm saying? So prayer for me is a quieting of the mind and putting intention on my life and those who I pray for. And I know there's a benefit from it.
That's real. To me, through my journey, through my studies, I'm an Aquarius sun, so I can say that throughout my life, I've always felt as though if I think of something, it does not fit into the current lexicon or the current train of thought. And there has always been times I'm like, am I just out of my fucking mind? Because ain't nobody, nobody else is doing this. Nobody else is saying this. So maybe I'm just tripping. But the ruler of Aquarius is, or not the ruler, the associated planet with Aquarius is Uranus, at least in modern astrology. And Uranus is rebellion, freedom from the constraints of what's the current accepted model.
Mm-hmm.
And I say all that to say that to me and my journey now, it's about, again, merging the concept of what prayer is with magic.
Mm-hmm.
I see prayer and magic as two of the same.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, okay, in the Bible it says, to enter the kingdom, you must become as a child. I'm paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the child, before it has teeth, it has gums.
Mm-hmm.
In this book, right here, we discover that the word gums comes from the word chaos. Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all the people who would say that all the prayer shit is just, that's, whatever, but their ears will perk up when you say a word like chaos. Now we talking our language. I'm about that chaos.
The dark
Okay.
side.
Right. Okay. Well, the gums, which is synonymous with chaos, produce mucus. That mucus hardens into a calcified material that pierces the gums and becomes what we call teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So to become as a child is to go back to a measure of chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that chaos is ultimately working towards order. The teeth represent the order. So it is a measure of humility to come back as the child, because the child represents, what's up, BK Trainer? The child represents the potentiality, the potential. And to me, now that's magical to me.
Mm-hmm.
If I can remove my urge to control, to me, this is what the whole concept of the unleavened bread is about. Because like we talk about, the east side is the responsibility is the rising side of the chart. Well, the unleavened bread is the rising agent has been removed. So the bread is flat. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Prayer is also referred to as pleading, making a plea. Okay? The word plea means flat, unleavened bread. So it's allowing the aspect of me that feels like I have to control every aspect of my existence to let it relax,
Mm-hmm.
which is the masculine aspect of myself. And then I'm going to take on the feminine moniker so that I can receive. So that's I see this constant interchange going on. You know what I'm saying? You have to allow a certain part of your psyche to be receptive, and then
Yeah.
when the time is right, you have to turn on that masculine side of the psyche to take action.
Mm-hmm.
And constantly trying to find where those two can coexist without one overpowering the other. That's magic. And this is not speculation. From what I'm saying, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, real life application. And I think with the church is dead, ain't no think, the church is dead. I don't even know why people even spend so much time trying to steal. The church is already dead. It's dead, man. You got
Mm-hmm.
TD Jakes on there wearing tight leather jackets, and you know,
Oh man,
I
I
mean,
haven't seen that yet.
I mean,
Oh,
it's man, it's dead, man. I mean, that's not even worth even.
the
I
church
think.
tapping into what's going on in society. You can switch your whole
Oh, come
gear
on,
up,
man.
bring in some younger folk. What Kurt Franklin said, if I could do music that's gonna touch the young folk, I would do it.
And
Cassie,
Kurt wants to touch the young folk.
and cat, everybody's listen, and that
He
comes
wants to
back.
touch the young men. My
Oh
bad.
my, and that and that's that commerce thing. It goes back into that commerce thing, bro. That's the real religion, commerce.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the real religion. That's the religion of today.
That
You
that
know,
that everybody's worshiping.
yes, yes, because now with the cancel culture, you can't do anything without offending someone, and and all these brands is like it's so funny when you get into like entities and like corporations. I will say, um, it's like that's the they got all these TOSs like terms of service and everything, and that's the new Bible, because if you read those terms of services, they control things. They tell you what they're gonna accept and not accept from employees in their business, and they live by that. We got laws on books for humanity that cats skirt around. You know what I'm saying? Like, or find a loophole around. But with these TOSs, bro, like they living on that. You getting fired from your job. You getting fired. You making the brand look good. You messing with the commerce.
Yep.
And they've always said money's been religion and all of that, but I just never really like it's really now just dawning on me what a lot of older concepts that were said mean now. I'm starting to understand what they mean now. And you just saying that with TD Jakes just made me think, everybody's tapping into the youth. Like it's always about what the young folk want, because you need to get them early so they'll spend with you later.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, when you start getting into the why all cereal boxes look the same, using the same colors in different ways to attract. Like these people then really tapped into our psyche. And I heard someone saying, I'm upset I can't think of the name or where I heard this from, but I heard someone say like psychology is really people trying to tap into your mind to understand you, and it's not necessarily for good all the time. It's to try to run this game on you. You know what I mean? It's to try to run this commerce game on you pretty much, you know, or run the religion game on you, or run the conscious movement game on you. Nobody's like, the game was to be sold, not to be told, bro. Like each one teach one is out the door. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I look at it like this. The source, prime creator, whatever you want to call it, bro, it's gonna knock on your shoulder. And you gotta be ready to answer the call and take that run, take that walk, take that, whatever is given to you, tap in, because it's for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't tap into nothing negative that come in my mind like that. You know what I'm saying? But all the positive, like, oh yeah, I need to, support my mom with going to walk. it's a benefit for me too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like we at a point where it's tap in time and the teachers are done. The teachers are done. The journey is the teacher.
Mm.
You know what I mean? The journey is the teacher. And that's why, like you saying, the church is dead, bro. It's like the church hasn't given you any new concepts for you to tap in. It's just giving you traditionalism. The pastor has a layup. Come on. Passover just happened. He had his, you say the same thing every year. You got the Passover, you got Christmas, you got the New Year. You haven't given the people any new concepts. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And the old way of looking at things is starting to pass away.
Yeah, the church and education are kissing cousins, and the penal system.
Yep.
They're kissing cousins. They're all set up for conditioning and not for cultivating. And what we're seeing is they're all coming to a head right now, and they're being shown for what they are.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because we know with the education system, it's just for you to be a worker. That's a fact.
I gotta make this plug. Hell, I be plugging other people's shit. I gotta plug my own. Go to what I just said is in here. Mastersofthecosmos.com. There's there's a section in here called Education, Punishment, and Religion, Handmaidens of Capitalism. Handmaidens of Capitalism. And that's where we at right now. We're not, the education is not really about education. It's about training. It's always been set up for that, just to be training to fulfill a role in society. The religion has always been training to fulfill a role in society. And the penal system has always been conditioning to remain in a certain role in society.
Okay.
And so that's what that's the trifecta. And so those institutions are dying.
Mm-hmm.
But the sad part is many people talk the whole we and the people and what we got to do. One of the words that kill me the most is family. Yeah, family.
Brethren.
Brethren and beloveds and all. So here's the thing. What many are trying to replace these dying systems with is Ponzi schemes.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Get a bunch of people to put in some money on something. Maybe somebody will get some remedy, and it's so great. That's great marketing to keep the Ponzi scheme going. But that's really what things have come down to. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's one of the alluring traits of social media that allows you to be one who can set up Ponzi schemes. Under the umbrella, we fighting against the man. We fighting back. We us, we. This what we gotta do, family. It's about individualism,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Get your
Hey
get
man,
your
just
get
real quick,
yourself in order. Huh?
do I sound different? Do I sound different?
Nah.
Okay, because I had to switch these headphones, man. My studio headphones had my head rocking. But just hearing you back, it sounds a little weird to me. But I'm not using my studio headphones, so that could be it. It just sounded a little weird to me. I didn't know um, if I sounded different speaking, but but yeah, uh, yeah, just tap into self, man, because um, I just don't think no one is. We said this before on podcasts that no one is teaching that. It's everything is outside of yourself or collectivism, and then you're supposed to get this benefit, and like you said, some people may, some may not, but that's the only thing being pushed because the religion is commerce. The religion is commerce, and listen, man, like YouTube has a lot of great stuff on there. You can you know we're wide open right now. You know what I'm saying? Like with YouTube, and because if we're gonna say the elite or all of that, as people say, and we saying all of these different things, everything's open right now. The show, this is the show. We in the show now. Because people giving you remedy on the internet, and it's like, I, you know, if these elite are looking at your remedy and then finding ways to thwart it in the future, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like, even if you tell me to come to your website, whatever, like, I've heard like Urban X TV say they kind of vet people to make sure they just not letting anybody in. But it's like, bro, like, it's all wide open, and all of your remedies or whatever, anybody could be in the room. We on the internet, we on the phone. Like, the predictive programming of enemy of the state told us, like, these cats can tap in, and now it's easier to tap in. So all you have left is at this moment, because who knows what the future holds, is you can be quiet and have a conversation with self in your own mind. Your mind is the last vantage point of privacy, where you can sit there, be still, and formulate plans in your own mind. And that's what prayer helps you do, bro, and meditation. That you always hear people say, yeah, don't tell nobody what you plan on doing, and people down your dreams and all of that. Listen, now it's on the major scale, because now you sharing I got this. Now you sharing it on the internet where it's easily accessible to pretty much everyone. So with everything that we've been going through, we're going back into the cycle of self. We're going back into the cycle of self, the cycle of sit down, be quiet, and have that conversation with yourself. Because we came from self. Like, the further you go back, wasn't no technology, information wasn't shared in this way. And I'm talking hundreds, thousands of years ago. What idea I made it came up, what idea I may have come up with in those times way ago. Only I found this idea, and then through my travels, Maybe I share it, maybe I don't. But we're coming back to the point of quietness and tapping into your own self to formulate a plan. And you can use the internet to help formulate that plan. You know what I'm saying? I listen to a lot of people on the internet and they got some good stuff, you know, and you take that in with what you're dealing with, and then you cruise out. But to me, that's what it's coming back to. You know, John Lupanti has a song called Individual Choice. And it's amazing. This is why I come up with concepts for titles for music, for instrumentals. Because I always looked at the title of an instrumental as something to meditate on or think about when you listen to the actual song. Because it's an instrumental, it has no words. So excuse me, the title to the track, you're trying to it's abstract art when it comes to music. Because what does it, like, individual choice, how do you conform that into a sound? You know what I'm saying? So I thought titles just made me think about stuff when I listen to the music. You know what I mean? But I always thought that title was intriguing. Individual choice. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? You know, I heard this back when I was like 20 years old, 19 years old. I heard this song. Maybe a little earlier than that, but it's just something that stuck out to me. And that's where I feel like the energy's going. Reverting back to tapping in.
And it's also important to practice learning how to learn. That's a Sufi motif, learning how to learn. That's actually a book by Idris Shah, Learning How to Learn. And this is how you counteract what Brianna's saying, that technopoly already can tap into the, well, there are devices that will come online, but they have to be developed. The big thing now is that there's a hustle going on where people are telling you to go within, but they're also selling you their bullshit. And they're telling you to throw away books. You know, you and I have talked about this. Oh, you don't need this book no more. You don't need that. You know, I just want to say this for the record. If anybody ever comes up talking about don't read, they need their motherfucking head chopped off. Now I said that, and I stand on it like King Kong. Because you don't have to look back far in your lineage to find people who may have been denied the ability to read. My grandmother could read. My grandmother Mary could read, but she only had a 6th grade education. And that was common for a lot of our very near ancestors. They didn't have education, and they were brilliant, but they had to start working. 12 years old, had to start work till they were 70, 80 years old. So I don't want to hear nobody talking about don't read, but I'm going to sit and listen to your ass talk. So I think it's important that we remember how to learn, how to consider things. That's Gemini, North Node and Gemini. Consider other perspectives. It does nothing to you to pick up a book and read, to consider another perspective. You know, you got to have a weak motherfucking mind to say, I'm not going to pick up a book because I don't want to be influenced. Well, goddamn, you got billboards on the highway when you're driving down there. Do you drive with your eyes closed? I don't want to be influenced by the billboards on the highway, so I drive with my eyes shut. That's the same. That's the equivalent of, oh, I'm not going to pick up no book. Mm-hmm. And I want to show something because it ties in with our conversation. I still stand on that prayer is a very feminine activity. Therefore, we need a balance of masculine and feminine, right? Always.
Yep.
Now, I want y'all to look at this. This is me opening a book, right?
Okay.
Turn it this way. Okay. So I drew something earlier.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all see what's on the bottom?
Yes, indeed.
That's the goddess.
Mm.
And she wants to birth something, but she needs to be probed first. She needs to be stimulated.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's opening the book. What was that? The Law and Order?
Close.
Yeah. It's just like, well, I ain't gonna go into that one. But to me, that's a representation of learning how to learn. Observing. You know, you said observe nature, look all around you. That's how we figure shit out.
Yep. Yep. It's so funny because I used to look at that with like, you know, it's like, yeah, all this fruit grow on trees. We got an abundance of water, even though all of it's not drinkable. But we got all the water. We have the fruit that grow on trees. You know, some people didn't study to where there's some, you know, some foliage you can eat. You know, everything we need is around us. And I know people say that, but it's truth, man. Like it's true. Like, you know, like I remember growing up in Michigan, man, it was nothing to see a blackberry tree, an apple tree, a pear tree, you know, where we never went home to eat. Like we knew trees that a cherry tree. Like we knew like if we was playing around in our neighborhood, there were certain people you know, home property we can go to. And sometimes these trees was just in fields. And we was like, you know, cats, man, I'm hungry. I want to go home. Let's go over to the pear tree and just eat a couple pears and keep playing. And in my young mind, yeah, you know, I didn't get the concept of, you know, I didn't have the concepts I have now when I was younger. It was just like, yo, make sure it's clean. We eat it slow because to make sure no worms is in it or whatever. And that's what we did, bro. And in that process of life on the tree where it, you know, it grows, it's at its ripest point, then it falls off the tree, goes back into the earth, that cycle. It's like what created us gave us everything we need right here. You know what I mean? And in abundance. You know what I'm saying? Now, yes, we didn't monetize it, but yo, like if you live in a certain area, man, you could survive. You know, you could be off your grid and ain't got to worry about eating. I'm gonna go to Miss Lily's yard and get me a couple pears. I'm gonna go to Mr. Paul's yard, get me a couple apples. All you need is a bag, and then you can go somewhere and fall back, and you got something every day on your fruitarian. You know what I'm saying? Just living off the land, bro. And I think we got away from those concepts. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was thinking about earlier. Was like, with that abundance, bro. Once you come to a certain level of understanding, life slows down. You begin to see, because once you get out the rat race and you slow life down, and then Glenn Lewis has a song called Simple Things. You start saying simple things. And now you're not chasing. You're not, you're out of the rat race, bro. And then life becomes a little more manageable because you're not doing I gotta get the greatest job in the world and all these different things. Yes, you need some things in place, but it doesn't have to be your all in all to where you can't tap into anything else. And I think that's what happened. They got you pushing, they got you running in the rat race or the hamster wheel with the carrot in front of you to where you can't do any other thing. You can't do any other research because you're in the rat race. So they're not in the rat race. They're controlling how far the carrot is out. And once you get off that hamster wheel and understand that, life just becomes a little simpler, a little easier. You're not chasing. And then you begin to relax and your stress level goes down. And then you begin to work on self. And this is for me. Like, this is my stuff. Because the programming tell you need to be in a rat race chasing. And when you're doing that, you really have any time to do any research, like you were saying earlier. And you going to church for traditional reasons, and not, and I'm not knocking nobody and all of that, because, like I said, people do what they do, but you'll get comfortable and, well, I went to church on Sunday and I tithe and that's just your daily routine. You feel like you're getting the word you need from your pastor. So, like, you don't have a question there. And then you hop back on Monday morning, you back at it. So they gave you everything you need. Oh, you need knowledge? Go to church. Go on Wednesday, go on Sunday and Wednesday. Once the dopamine comes down on Tuesday, go back on Wednesday, get another piece of dopamine to get you through the Sunday. So we got everything you need. But once you remove yourself from that and then get into your own individual research, your individual choice, it works out, man. It works out. And they don't mind you doing it. They just don't want you talking about it, getting other people off the commerce religion. They don't mind Moors going out here understanding law and getting remedy. It's just they don't want the whole, because once everybody try the thing collapse, they whole thing is like, we know a few people who gonna understand and remove themselves from the system. That's cool. We just don't want the thing to collapse. And once they notice someone can come along and maybe collapse the system, then they take them out. So for me, it comes back to individual choice, individualism, growing yourself, hopefully having the wherewithal to do it, because that's a part too, right? And when I hear people start, man, I love when I hear people say, I gotta do something different. Man, I gotta do something. That means now you're starting to awaken to ready for this path. You're ready for the path.
That's right. you know, birthing pains.
Yes. Yes. And then that's when your journey, the journey's the teacher. That's when you start sharing information. Like, bro, like, okay, here's, I've been in your position before, and this is what I did, and that gives them hope to possibly remove themselves from their situation.
Right. True indeed. Um, yeah, I guess as a means of summary, somewhat, I would just like to interject that this is not like the Jehovah's Witness coming knocking at your front door.
Mm-hmm.
This is not an attempt to convert anybody into anything, cause I don't adhere to, we don't adhere to, well, you need to follow Jesus Christ, and you need to blase blase. That's not. Well, I'm gonna speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't my get down. Um, this is my perspective is coming from having grown up in the church, um, divorcing myself from that model, but not throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me. And and just trying to take again that word perspective, just trying to broaden the perspective on that, because that's not the only word that you know we can tend to get hung up on, because we're not in a very linguistically fluid society,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I wish I could read this story, this Sufi story about the four fishermen. It's a Lebanese man, a Greek, a Turkish guy, and some other nationality, and they're on the boat fishing, and they all make these demands that they want this, and the other guy says, no, I want this, and they're all speaking in their native tongues, and the only person who could settle this dispute was a linguist. He got off the boat, and he went and got a big heap of grapes and brought them all grapes, because in each one of their tongues they were all saying they wanted grapes,
Oh wow.
but they couldn't understand each other because they were all trying to express it in a different manner. And um, I think there's a way to find some type of common ground, unless you're just dealing with somebody who just got some different level of issues, and they some people's goal is never for there to be any harmony, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are outliers, but those people who want to find some congruency, that's kind of what this conversation from my standpoint has been aiming at.
True. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't have a religion per se, but I just know what I felt was told for me to do, and that's what I'm doing. And and that's it. Like I don't really have much I don't really have much more to say, man, cuz I'm not, I think I think people get they benefit from what they get. I can't tap into another individual and say you're not getting a benefit from that or not. What I can say is I know my understanding is that and I don't even know this for sure when I say it, but I feel like people go to church some people just go just to go. Some people just grew up in it and they don't ask questions. But if you're not doing anything negative and harming no one, and they might sound a little new agey, but if you just really tapping into trying to get yourself on the right path to do what you need to do for yourself, man, I'm all for it. And I support it. And and that's what I'm doing. They say religion means to bind. So if you are following that, you're bound to that thing that you're within. And a lot of times when you come into some information outside of what is in your church, they're telling you, oh, don't get into that or get out of that. They never have an answer for you in that way. They just tell you to get out of that, or you know, uh, you know, it's just that's a negative way of thinking about it. That's devil stuff. However they want to chase it, but it's never a sit down and explanation. Because I listened to an interview some years ago on Blog Talk Radio. I'm trying to think who program I was on. I may have been on I was on your man Yusef L's program, and he had this woman on, and she had went to seminary school, and allegedly, and she was saying that in seminary school they teach you the quote unquote truth, but they also tell you how to run your congregation, how to run your church by only talking about certain information. So these pastors have the information, but they have a template to follow. And by following that template, it keeps all the churches in line, and it keeps the narrative in line. And when someone approaches you outside of that narrative, it's the shut down syndrome. You know what I'm saying? So truth is out there. It's all an individual walk. It's all depending on who's looking for what at any given time. But as much as we're in the information age, we're in the surveillance age. It's all encompassing, and you just gotta, you have to know how to maneuver. But I'm not maneuvering in fear. I know at some day I'm gonna have an end day, and end date rather, and I'm just progressing, man. It's like I remember Jamal said one day, he was like, "Yo," he was talking about something, and he was like, we got to talk like it's the Matrix. Like we got great understanding, but it's like sometimes we just talk about what's going on in the Matrix. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's what it's right there, and it's a beautiful time, bro, to really just get into what's happening to you in this moment. It's all right to live there. It's all right to tap into that.
Right. I think too, good. Everything's agricultural,
Mm-hmm.
and we always using that word organic. And I think there's a measure of protection when things are organically grown. I think sometimes what get what can get somebody jammed up the most is impatience. You know, I just think and reflect back over my life, just things that impatience has gotten me into that I didn't want to be in. You know, um, I think staying in your lane, letting things grow organically, not being too eager to. Oh, I got to, I got to get on that. Or I got to get more relevant. I got to, da, 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 da. And you find yourself, as we always say, walking into an office backwards, you know, because you're just too eager. And I strongly feel as a measure of protection of things growing at their natural pace. You
Yep.
know, all money ain't good money. All folk ain't good folk. You know, and it's just it's cool it's cool to see things start to move in that manner, through that organic manner. You
Yep.
know, um, I think that's one of the values of living on the earth a certain number of years. If you're doing your work, there's a measure of wisdom you acquire. You start acquiring, um, which is not to suggest that you have arrived. Because to speak for myself, I damn sure ain't. You know, um, but your growth allows you to reflect. When you do fall short, and then to strategize as to how to better maneuver. And then, as Dap is saying, or we've been saying here, is then that comes in at the point of the saying, you know what, I need some help. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm struggling with this. And whether we want to call it begging, petitioning, pleading, whatever, who fucking cares if it gets you remedy? That's all I got, brother.
That's what it is at the end of the day, man. Are you getting remedy from your intention?
No. You know, not to be on no bragging, but for you all out there watching this podcast, can you sense, see, feel the measure of peace? You know what I'm saying? We ain't got the cameras all tight to where you seeing how you're being welcomed into our environments. Look, man, I'm gonna be petty for a minute. I'm gonna be petty. Cats be on the internet trying to tell you about how to fix your life, and them motherfuckers be done sit there for 45 minutes before they get on the camera to make sure that shit is set up just right, so that you don't see the confusion in their world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we talk, you know, man, we be saying all the time, our phone conversations need to be the real podcast. That's where the shit goes down, you know. But you know, we talk about all the time, like you man, you know, cats be behind dumpsters doing,
Out in
you
the
know,
winter,
nothing, huh?
Hawk spitting in the winter doing the live.
And look, we always say this: it's not to make light of nobody's situation, because we both know are familiar with hard times, very familiar.
Yes.
But the thing is, when your shit ain't in order, that's the time to just not be seen and be working on getting your shit in order.
Yes.
You know, one thing you learn about from back in the days of bodybuilding, when you're getting ready for a show, man, you ain't trying to be out everywhere and this. You are in the gym grinding and nobody sees you for like 4 months, 5 months. You
Right.
grinding. You know, you covered up. Then when you get to like 6 weeks out from your show, you show up in the gym in a tank top one day and like, God damn, you know? And that's where it's because you've done the work. So what we're laughing at is not anybody struggling. We're laughing at the fact that cats don't be having their own thing in order, you
I'm trying to
know,
sell you. I'm trying to sell you order.
not just talk to you about it, but sell it to you.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't know how to work through issues with my woman, look here, I don't need to be trying to give you no advice about how to fix your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We don't watch Oprah and a young Van Zant chastise people, browbeat people about relationships with no receipts about their own fucking relationships. And they set the template, not to pick on them, but they set the template for what we got all over the internet now. Like everybody's running the Oprah playbook.
Mm-hmm.
Oprah built her shit on talking about relationships. A big bulk of her legacy is on Oprah relationships, relationship with food, relationship with people, relationship with society.
Yeah.
And you look at Oprah's chart about how she deals with her people is empty. She has no, so that's a whole nother segment. But then you got
And people
your
don't see,
love.
and that's the beauty of it, bro. Like she's doing all of that. Then she's telling you about her, and like you said, this ain't no browbeating. We just humans talking about what we see in other humans and humanity. And it's like she'll tell you she has no relationship with her family like that, but then she's telling you, like it's like she's not using the information she's getting. It's just
Right,
like, well, like that's not for me. I don't need it. I'm Oprah. This is for the people. I'm the
right,
I'm the conduit, and I don't
right,
have to keep the information because I've made it, quote unquote. You know. And I just want to say real quick, why is feminine? Thank you for your response on Bandcamp. That was her, right? Right, Jamal?
right.
Thank you for that and enjoying the music and saying every time fire when we drop something. He screenshotted me that message and it was really dope to see you on the platform that we sell our music on and responding in that way. So I just want to thank you while you listening in. Um, but yeah, uh, so you have her doing that, but not tapping into that information. So and it's like, and I'm not gonna say no one sees it, but Like, is anybody in her crowd noticing that? Like, it's like anybody in the audience like peeping that, but we get so gung ho in the code of personality. Sometimes we might not. It'll just slide right by us, until you maybe hear somebody else say it. Peace, Freddie.
What's up, Freddie? And peace, wise feminine. I don't think we acknowledged you when you came in.
Yeah, peace. I just seen her name and I was like, yo, like I gotta respond to her about that message on Bandcamp. Like, oh, yeah, but peace. Thank you for checking us out.
And Triple JC, what's happening?
Triple JC, peace.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
Nah, that was it. It's just I don't know if anybody. I think that's the true test. Like because it's no different than a celebrity promoting something you see on TV. All these health medicines and insurance and all of that stuff. Like we know they're using the celebrity to bring people in, but like I see this one with your man. What was your man that was quarterback for the Jets? Joe Namath.
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath. I'm like, Joe Namath ain't using this shit short stuff he's selling you right now. He's just a face. Like, come on. Like he's up right now. Like he's not on that. He's rich. Allegedly. So it's like, it's just bugged out, man. Like, and like I said, I know some people see it, and we know celebrityism is used to push products and stuff like that. But we gotta be. I think now it's to the point where I need to know, and like I told you before, me and my wife always talk about it. What happened when you apply this information? What's the okay? You telling me about it, but have you applied it in your life? What's the okay? So here it is. What was your results from your application of this information? And when they get the hemming and hawing, it's time to check out. Oh, well, I ain't really got into it yet. Then how you selling me it? How you selling me? And you ain't did it. So that's what happens later. Like when you get into the information, bro, like that's what it comes down to. Have you smoke a panic pack on a live, my G? Let me see. What? Drink this tea on live. Drink this gold water live. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. Like not like I said, not getting on nobody's case, but bro, like it gotta be a point where I think that's one thing about me and Jamal. We big on like telling y'all what we've tapped into. I can't now we can get now that's why I like to preface it of well, I'd rather say at the beginning, I haven't tapped into this, but they say this should be the remedy, and then we talk about it. You know what I mean? Versus just coming right into it. Yo, and if you do this, like this gonna be the benefit. Well, brother, did you do it? Did you get that benefit? Well, I ain't tried it yet, but I'm looking into doing it. But they say this should happen. Like, yo, you can't. That's dead.
High school.
Yeah, that's dead now.
Just going back, social media, sociology, psychology, and marketing go hand in hand.
Well, that's a nice triune right there.
That's a hell of a triad right there. Yep. Sociology. How do people relate to each other? Mm-hmm. Well, the way they relate to each other has a lot to do with how they think. Psychology. Mm-hmm. If you understand how they think, then you can know what their triggers are. Marketing. Mm-hmm. Trigger their fears. Trigger their absence of love in their lives. Mm-hmm. And that's how we get them with the fast food and the Dunkin' Donuts and the, trigger their fear of loss. That's how we get them with this 30% sale coming up. Don't miss out. Mm-hmm. Close out sale, because nobody wants to be left out. Because it triggers that feeling from childhood when you were left out, or you didn't have enough money to get the Nikes and this and that. So now you're like, I can't miss out. I can't miss out again. I
Right.
missed out in 88,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's all tools of manipulation. And what we talk about too on the phone is that here's the game. Cats have read a lot of this, have studied a lot of this information about how the mind works and so forth. And instead of it being uplifting, look, Cass is trying to use the same playbook to run it on the already crippled people
Mm-hmm.
because Cats is trying to eat.
Yeah.
Too many nights that went by with that stomach rumbling. I ain't trying. Look, I'm eating tonight. You hear me? This what we gonna do. This what we gonna do. We're gonna put this group together. We're gonna take a whole bunch of pictures on Instagram. We're gonna go bomb rush these neighborhoods and pose in front of these houses. You know, hey, get your phone out, son. Get your phone out.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, 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 you want to be a millionaire? You want to get your business popping? You got motherfuckers who ain't even got a website yet telling you about how to get a business. Let me tell you something. If you in 2021 and you have an online business and you don't have a website, you full of shit.
It's the money game.
It's a money game. You
Straight to
don't
my
run no business off Cash App. What the fuck? Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm gonna show you how to be. I'm gonna show you how to get up.
Yeah. You got guys scouring the internet and then come to you with information they don't think you privy about and they ain't did no work. So that's why we say, man, listen, just be careful out here. You know, just do your due diligence and ask a cat, have you applied it? You know, I watched a guy, because NFTs are, this popular thing right now. And I watched the guy show his whole process. He started off with, this is the art I'm gonna use in his piece series, if you check out. Um, he was like, I started this art piece years ago. It was digital art. He showed what it looked like. I mean, this guy was thorough in his approach to this, putting this NFT online. And he showed what it looked like before he finished. He showed what it looked like after he finished it. He showed his whole process of putting it on an NFT site to be sold. And it's art, right? And he shared his screen. I mean, he had his information blurred out, obviously, but he was showing you step by step what he did, bro. And that's application. That's the real work of somebody showing you exactly what I did to get this NFT on here. That's what it is, bro. Like, not you didn't watch 50 videos on NFTs and now you're gonna create a webinar on it and you ain't telling me no NFTs you got on the platform. And you have a channel where you be live, like you got you got a weekly schedule. And ain't on nothing and on none of them have you showed your process of putting the NFT online, but you about to do a seminar on it for me to go put an NFT online.
Fleecing.
So so it's like, bro, like, nah, show me application, my G. And it's okay to ask for it because you're trying to sell me something. It's like when somebody want to borrow money from you. I have the right to ask you for what? You might not want me to ask you for what, but I have the right to ask you for what? What do you need this $50 for? Oh, bro, you know what I mean? Nah. What do you need the $50 for, bro? Because you
Right.
asking me. So if you're selling me something online or, material, whatever, I have the right to question you. And that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. So, So like me and Jamal, he's putting books in front of the camera that he's pulling from. I've done it. We're showing you this information is, it comes from here, and then we're reading it, and then we're showing you how it relates metaphysically to the world around us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just trying to deal in integrity. That's it. You know, it's nothing crazy. Not, no one's perfect. We all got to pass all that stuff, but we're in our mid 40s now. You know what I'm saying? All the things we've been through in our life, we've had the wherewithal to sit back and get into our analyzation bag and know we want to do something different. For me, I got taps in from what I call the source, most high, whatever. That was my tap in. My tap in came like, yo, you got to do something different. And I chose to do something different. Somebody else pull might be whatever it is for them. I don't know, but that was my pull to do something different, and I chose to do something different. And now, 10 years later, 11 years later, I look at the benefit from that move while staying locked in as much as I can, having some lapses in certain areas, but still staying locked in to what I was supposed to do. And now I have a 8-year marriage. I have a great relationship with my children. You know what I'm saying? And um and I'm tapped in. So so it's okay to ask people for application. How did you apply this in your life? And
The
stay on
truth,
catch about it.
my bad.
No, you good.
To me, the true test of, or let's say this, a true test, or one of the tests of whatever we say we are, is, do I trust that the universe will deliver based on what's in me and how I express it? Like I was saying, the east side of a chart is personal responsibility. The west side is destiny. Neither one is right or wrong. Do I trust that the way I conduct myself on the east will pay off in the west when the sun sets?
Mm-hmm.
Or have I become so engulfed on the rising side of my chart that I feel like I got to do any and everything in my power to control destiny, or to control my reality, that I don't trust the destiny aspect of my journey? So what happens is it can create a fear. And once fear creeps in, fear can make you crazy.
Yes.
If you get scared, see what a lot of the people that we're talking about, they're truly acting from a fear consciousness. They don't really trust all this abundance that they talk about. They don't really trust all this reciprocity that they talk about. They are afraid that time is going to run out on them. And so they're going to do anything within their power to try to outlast and outrun the clock running out on them.
Right.
If that means they got to scam their mama, well, mama, you know I was a piece of shit.
Oh my gosh.
What you expect, mama?
It's a
You
tough.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, man. I just want to say, listen, We put some beautiful art out. Moorish Legacy is in. Um, it's on our Bandcamp. It's on.
Keep rocking, man. I gotta run to the restroom.
Okay. It's on Jamal's page, the Gnosis, and our idea with this music of doing organic music is to just really share. Well, Jamal would have to say because he's the lyricist. I just do the beats, but I think that with this music, we are attempting to provide to the people. It's upliftment music, and it's music that I think you can pick up some things from what Jamal says in the lyrics and study from it. Use it as a study guide. Um, his knowledge is vast, and he talks about a lot of things through his lyricism, and that's what our name means. It's think music. It's music to make you think. It's simple. Like it's not a whole big um to do. Um and we're excited to continue to put art into the universe that could possibly lead people to um you know tap into their art, have a new way of looking at life, um and bringing forth you know a whole new mindset um for yourself, man. That's what art does. um at least my understanding of art, that's what it does. It just you know listening to artists has helped me tap into my artistry, and so that's what we're trying to do with this music. you know Tap into your artistry, tap into your research, and use this as a guidepost for that. Put your earbuds on and just you know really get into it. um I was just sharing about what the intent is with the music that we're bringing forth. um yeah, so um
Right.
me and Jamal always say like it's beautiful doing music at this point. He shared with you how hard it was to get in the studio before, and that's the beauty. And this is like, we know technology comes with a gift and a curse, but this is one of the beautiful things about technology. He's in Texas, I'm in North Carolina. We can interact on this, on this podcast. I email him music. He can go to the studio and perform the music. We can put it out. Like, um, to be able to do these things and then to do them without a bunch of, um, for the lack of a better word, I'll just say nonsense surrounding us, because now we have some clarity in our lives. We have some order in our lives that we may not have had when we were doing music before. The
Mm.
music, the music is effortless now. When I can sit in my home and I ain't worried about someone coming to knock on my door, to get a bag, or cats to come over and drink brews, and blow reefer all night. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I could just sit back and be creative, bro. Unfiltered, tapping into my full capability, and he's able to do the same. So now when we come together, we bring you a Moorish legacy. We bring you a clarity insight. We bring you a cockatoo, a prep, a beats need bars, and someone said something to Jamal, like he told me someone said, "Yo, don't change."
No, they said don't sell out.
Yeah, don't sell out. They said don't sell out. And what I told him, what I when he told me that, it was just like, "Yo, we got something people want to hear. But if this music was to grow and blow into something, don't sell out. Keep the same move." And that's why we always talk about being organic. Like we not buying views, we not doing anything crazy. We just, and it taps back into what he said earlier in the podcast about how things are coming to play that we've asked for before. Like we talked about, yo, we can get on the platform, So now we've been sending music to the Killer Priest platform.
Shout out to the Killer Priest
Shout out
Nation.
shout out to the Killer Priest Nation, no doubt. We've been sending them music for the last couple weeks, and it's been getting great feedback, you know. Um through him, and I'll share that if you don't mind about the rate, with the radio show, if you don't mind.
No doubt.
Through Priest's podcast, um we may possibly do a radio show coming up. So, and we talked about that. And this radio show is going to be broadcast out of the UK. So now that's international. And I know YouTube is international, but some places don't allow YouTube. But tapping into the UK, getting into a whole new market. And we know that those overseas really dig into the hip hop culture and music sometimes way more than Americans do. And it's just opening doors, but it's things that we've talked about and we put in the atmosphere, and they're starting to come to play. And that's what we were talking about. So some people might call it intention and all of that stuff and manifestation and all of that, but it's real because we've talked about this stuff privately, and now it's starting to happen in our face. So, the other day we was just like, yo, I was asking him, is he excited? He was like, yo, I'm just trying to stay even kill. And that's what we both on. That's what we both on. Just like, okay, this is what we, I used to say this when I used to rap. I used to get a little nervous before I went on. And then I would have this short, quick talk with myself and say, this is what you asked for. I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to perform. This is what you wanted. Here it is. Like, right, come on. So that's the same thing with this. This is what we asked for, but we have the wherewithal of stepping into it with a different mindset than we would have had 20 years ago.
Mm.
That's the blessing. So yeah, fam. We Think Music, man. We're here to stay. We here to help keep progressing music, and hopefully there's a positive outcome and outlook from it. And yes, Wise Feminine NC is very beautiful. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Yep,
That's my,
and Jamal from here. Yep.
and it's funny. It's just all funny how life works. That's where I'm from. I leave there, move to Texas, and Dap ends up coming from up north
Mm-hmm.
down to NC. You know, um, but everything is in divine order.
Yes.
Um, I feel like this Think Music thing is funny, man. In my chart, my North Node is in Libra. Okay.
All right.
And all right, Lance, you're in Texas, all right. Libra is in my 10th house, my career house. Okay. It's very funny because Libra deals with why is feminine in Texas? All
We
right.
got a lot of Texas in the house. I see
All right.
y'all.
Lone Star State. Um, it's my career house, Libra. Libra is also rules over partnerships. Okay.
All right.
The planet that is associated, I'm just going to use the word rules Libra, Venus, I have in the opposite sign.
Mm.
So it is like it came into the Aries part of my chart. Because look, that's my nature. My nature is to go it alone, you know? But my chart all along was saying there's there's your career awaits in some form of partnership, put it that way. See what I'm saying? It all makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so things like that kind of give me an extra drive, like, nah, this thing is in the stars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This thing was supposed to come together like this, and um who knows where it's supposed to go.
That's so funny, man, because I told Jamal this also, and this is it. We going back into intention. Is this intention or what? But before I met Jamal, I used to be on these calls. I met some guys that produce, that produce a group of guys, and we would be on calls or whatever. And I remember talking to one of the brothers, and I was like, yo, if I could just find somebody to rhyme over my beats, man, like that would just be an extra push to like get the music out. We everybody, all my friends, we was doing like instrumental albums. Some of them had some people that could rhyme on them. Some of them did rhyme, but I was just me and this one particular brother was like, yo, that would be so dope. That would be so dope. And lo and behold, I don't know the time frame from that conversation to when me and Jamal started doing music, but it's just again, I meet Jamal and we're doing music, and I asked for an MC. I asked for an MC. Now I wasn't praying on none of this and all of that stuff, but you know, but I do understand intention and all of that type stuff. So if it's that or not, I'm not sure. But I do know we was talking about that. And then when me and Jamal linked up and then he started listening to the beats, it was like, and then we decided to, because first I was like, yo, you want to rhyme over some beats? Cool. Like, you know what I mean? And then it was like, yo, maybe we could do something together with it and, become a group or something. And that's what we wind up doing. But I was just like, yo, if I could find an MC for these beats, I'll be great. And, it'd be great. And it happened. It happened. So yeah, I'm a believer in this is like we're supposed to be doing this. Um and it's gonna be great to see where it go. And then with us being grounded the way we are, um, hopefully it's a great benefit. I know I enjoy doing it. I enjoy working with Jamal. I enjoy our process. It's seamless. Um so yeah, I think
Yeah,
you
yeah,
got
and
it.
I've told Dap too. A lot of times in the past, you go and get beats from these knuckleheads, you know, and there's no connection. You just where I would get a lot of beats offline. Then there was this one cat in Fort Worth. I would go over his house and listen to beats and I might buy a couple beats. But to be honest, I ain't like him. He had that. I've dealt with a lot of people who they just really didn't dig my music. They didn't get it. Um, and one thing is just like the part of Texas I'm in, I don't make the music that appeals to them. You know, I don't know how to just. It's strange. I got a southern accent, but my music, I'm more of a maybe a East Coast type of MC, you know, and that ain't really, you know what I'm saying? It ain't really appealing down here. I don't think, you know. But then again, I don't really be out. But the cats I've interacted with, and they've been younger than me. You know, that's the other thing. You know, my thing is when we're working together. First of all, it's it's a friendship, not to be on no, no uh mushy gushy shit. But I don't use the word friend very loosely. Because I was raised that way. My daddy told me you don't have no friends, boy. Because my old man's my grandfather died when my father was 6 months old. And he used to like to party and drink a lot. And back in the day, people would poison you. My grandmother, my mother's grandmother, died by being poisoned. She liked to drink and party. She got
Mm.
poisoned. She was a real beautiful woman. She got poisoned. So
Wow.
my grandfather died the same way, got poisoned. So my father always was strong on you ain't got no friends, don't be following people and this and that and da 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 da. So, I'm kind of standoffish as far as I have acquaintances and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we truly have a friendship. We bust it up on different things and talk about life and shit going on. And that's what I call organic. And I didn't
Yes.
have that type of interaction with these other folk who just like, oh, come on, motherfuckers. You know, even the engineer, I like working with people I got some type of relationship with. The first thing we recorded was Beats Need Bars. I went
Yeah.
to this one studio in Arlington, it's a nice studio. Uh Little fella in there, he was cool at first. Then when I came back and did the prep and early New Dawn, those lyrics were a little heavier. All of a sudden my mixes start getting fucked up,
Mm.
you know. And then I was like, well, man, let me get your number so I can hit you up and see what your schedule's like. Oh, you can just call the studio. Like, oh, fuck you, little midget motherfucker. So I'm not calling you because I want to go hang out and shoot basketball, motherfucker. I don't want to, my thing is I don't like coming in and feeling like I'm just wanting the number. Get in here and hurry up and record your session and get out of here. So,
Yep.
man, we done been through how many engineers we done been through?
Let's see. The first dude,
E, see,
Jules.
Eli, then the Hispanic guy, then the dude that was over in the trap house.
Yep.
Uh,
I think that was it, right?
I
Those
think
three.
four. It was like four. No, it was like five engineers before Matt.
Yeah, because you did a one off. You did a couple one offs.
Right,
So yeah, because we was
so
going
the
with Eli for a minute, and
right,
then I think we did a couple with the Mexican cat. How many you
right,
do with the African American dude?
two.
Two, and then I know you did a one off where you went somewhere and was just like, "Yo, I'm never going back
Oh
there."
man, my man, his headphones. He couldn't even get a good pair of headphones. I'm like, damn, brother, you need to.
Oh man.
But then here's the thing about Matt. the engineer we've been working with since tea tree oil.
Yes.
Now he charges the most
He
of
did
anybody
Blueprint,
we've been
right?
to. Huh?
Did he do Oreo Templo?
Yeah, Auto Templo, and those two was the same session. Auto Templo and tea tree oil.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now he charges the most, and he's worth it.
Dude.
His
Do
shit ain't
you?
cheap.
Nah. But you
And
get quality.
quality. And he's the first person who said, "Well, dude, send me some of your music. Let me check it out." Nobody gave a damn. It was just like, if they got an opening, get on in here, give me my money, get out. He wanted to hear the music first because this guy has engineered platinum plaque music. Like he's got platinum plaques. He's an engineer for T.I. and um, uh, Gucci Mane and all, but he don't like their music. He's not a hip hop guy, and he's definitely not that type of hip hop. So he said, I wanted to hear your music first because I don't need to take on everybody who, in other words, I don't need your business. But he said, I really like y'all's music because we send them cockatoo. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, that rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in there, and my man is like, I'm recording. He's like, dude, I think you need to stop and take a drink of water. You need some coffee, man. I think your voice is, you just need to. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like what you described when you met Brianna, and she, you
Yeah.
know, you'd have been dealing with some da-dun-da-duns, and
Yep.
then she's like, hey, I'll look after your babies while you're sick. And you're like, damn, I ain't used to. My man talking about, do you need some coffee?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, damn. So
And another, not to cut your wisdom, but that was another intention we put out there.
that's right.
Because Jamal kept saying, bro, I gotta find the right engineer, the right engineer, the right engineer. And he went through a couple, and now he's telling you the Matt story.
That's right.
Continue, brother.
That's right. That's right.
So now, yeah. So and we got another intention out there that we looking for that's gonna become the triune because we need
Yeah.
a videographer. We need a videographer now. And once
Yeah.
we got the music, we got the engineer. Now once we're able to give y'all the visuals, it's a wrap. Because we already got video concepts for songs and everything. We're plodding along, and waiting for the videographer to come along. And once
That's
that
right.
happens, it's all gonna come together. Because once we put these videos on YouTube with these concepts we have that fit the music, it's gonna be something y'all haven't seen. Because no
That's right.
one's listen, no one's tapping into art. Let's just keep it a stat.
Come
The
on.
the league is all about sameness.
That's right.
So this is why we can't get into hip hop right now. I'm not the old head knocking the young cats and all of that. I know, listen, times move. The Temptations ain't popping right now. Four Tops ain't popping right now. So time moves on. I get that. So I'm not the dude like the young dudes ain't messing hip hop up. Like, I don't want to even go down that road. Like that's like it's whatever. I know things progress. But what you can control is what is brought forth to the public. And when you keep giving us sameness, it sullies what hip hop once was. Because you had Tone Loc as much as you had Rakim, as much as you had the Beastie Boys, as much as you had somebody underground that was trying to come up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like hip hop has always had a stew of different type of MCs. You had Kid and Play, you had Queen Latifah. Like, come on, we could just run it. We know we all grew up in the hip hop. For us as hip hoppers, we, you know what I'm saying, we know names we can grab. And yeah, certain hip hop we didn't like. Like nobody was going to buy a Young MC album. You know, I mean, I wasn't. But Young MC, but now in my 40s, yo, Young MC is a lyricist though. Look at his storytelling. You know what I'm saying? He wrote Funky Cole Medina and Tone Loke's joints.
Oh, I ain't know that.
Yeah, what was Tone Loke? Funky Cole Medina. What was his other joint? His other hit. He had 2 hits. Young MC wrote those. Because I think it was on the same label, Delicious Vinyl. So, but when you look at his pen in hindsight, Young MC had a pen, bro. You know what I'm saying? The elaborate stories he was telling, come on, fam. Yeah, we might have not liked the beat at the time because we was in the Kane and KRS and PE, but that dude had a pen, bro. And I'm pretty sure his pen was moving around Hollywood and unbeknownst to us, because that's what happened with ghostwriters. We got the person. It's like a singer. It's like a singer that can't write. They got the voice. They just need the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Now in hip hop, we go by you got to write your stuff, that's our stuff, and we're allowed to have that. You know what I mean? But that dude's pen in hindsight was vicious, because his storytelling was on par with Ghostface, Nas. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. Because I like storytelling rappers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Slick Rick, his pen was there. But yeah, Wild Thing, Brianna, thank you. So yeah, I went down that road and forgot the street I started on.
You was talking about that cats ain't making art.
That's so cats not making art, fam. So now, we're getting back into the thought process of making art. Coming up with now mind you, y'all know how we do. I send Jamal beats, he writes. Once he write, I don't know, just like how y'all find out what he's talking about, outside of him sending me 8 bars, 4 bars, or something like that, I only hear the finished product after he's out the studio, just like y'all get it. So once we get the product, once we get the art, then we start going into what a video concept would be. Like even listen, 2009, at the end of 2019, we put 3 songs out. We put 4 songs out, starting with Divine, right? It was Divine, Watching Birds, Iberian Oracles. Was it 3 or 4? Was it just those 3?
Divine, Watching Birds, Iberian Oracles, Cockatoo.
And Cockatoo. But the way we lined it, the Cockatoo may have been first, because we was talking about bringing this stuff out by. This is how deep me and Jamal go. If y'all go back and look at these releases, we was releasing it through the album art. So in Divine, it looked like you're walking towards the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then when you get out, we gave y'all Watching Birds.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've been in this cave all this time. Right? So now when you get out of the cave, you're looking at the world. You're looking at the trees, you're looking at the birds and what's going on out in nature. And that was Watching Birds. And then after Watching Birds, we gave y'all Iberian Oracles. The cover art for Iberian Oracles was a man in a turban laying on the sand, enjoying being out the cave. That was the concept behind those 3 album releases that y'all didn't know, but that was the work me and Jamal put in to line up how we was going to release these tracks.
And just real quick, that led up to Dubai Sunset.
And that led to Dubai Sunset, because now you walking in the sand and now you're seeing Dubai. That was a picture of Dubai. You're seeing Dubai in the horizon. So now you're about to go interact with humanity. So you was in a cave, right, on Divine. You came out and was watching birds and nature. Nothing was around you. You was just, I'm out this cave. I'm enjoying nature. Then we showed you the physical you on Iberian Oracles as that melanated man with the turban on. and you was out relaxing, like, man, I'm out that cave, I'm back in the world. Then you got up and started walking, and Dubai sunset was your horizon. Now you're getting ready to interact with humanity. You're back. That was the concept of those releases. That's the work you getting from us through this art. That's the kind of thinking you getting from us. So when you look at the album art, when you look at the title of the song, look at the album art. And as we move forward, we're going to give y'all more background and stuff like that of how we come up with these concepts. But that's just one. And that was, I think that was probably it's not the first one, but it was the one we put in line of releasing songs matching album art. And we were sitting blown away. And we knew people wasn't going to get it. But our intention, now you could go back and listen to those songs and look at that album art and be like, wow, that's an ill, I'm not going to say what you should say, but I just think that's an ill concept.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 Thought, planning, and creativity. That's what's needed. I think cats are looking for what's next, but there maybe some are not quite sure how to bring it about.
Yeah.
And some cats are afraid of when they see it. Like everybody said they want what's next, what's the new, and then when it comes, some of them get so caught up in trying to analyze it to figure out what box it fits in. Just let it be,
Let it be. Yep. Just let it be.
Just let it be.
Yep. Yep. And
that's all I got, bro.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to end it. I started working on a piece of art last night. I call it Leisurely Maneuvers. I'm still working on it. It's not mixed. Would you mind if I play the piece?
Nah, go rock it out.
This is called Leisurely Maneuvers.
think I can do something to that.
Yeah, you gonna have fun on that. You gonna
Every
have
time
fun
that
on
doom, 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 what it does is it beckons you to add an element to the bar. Like, I'm walking down the street. Maybe you even,
that.
put a little singing tone to that. And like sometimes I like to match the chord change. Doom, doom, doom,
Yes,
doom,
yes.
doom, 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 doom. Just to pique the listener's ear. And it's like it's telling you to maybe the story has a twist in it. It's just man, it's just the creative processes.
Thanks, Serious Biz. Yeah, that's the joint where I took the Avant and the Glenn Lewis and
Oh, okay.
just beginning to each song and so all that little voice in the background and all of that. That's yeah. And yeah, Serious. I like to take you left sometime with the intro to the beat where it's like you hear that and you're like, okay, where is this going? And then it goes then it goes into something else. Like, that was I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one I lost the drums to. Yeah, I was working on this last night, and I was trying to hook my MIDI up, and it froze my computer, bro. And I didn't say the beat, and I was sick because
Mm,
it was a little. I tried to re-chop it the way I did and all of that, and it was a little off, but it still turned out to be dope. But I made sure I saved that joint. As soon as I got a little bit, I named it and saved it like
hmm.
real quick, like yo. Because if it freezes and I got to save, it's cool. It's not gonna erase it. But I
Right.
ain't had anything. I was just so into working, like I had no working title or nothing with the first round. But yeah, man. But that's leisurely maneuvers, and I'll tighten that up and
So
send that out to you. I think you will, yeah. And this in your what you say your wheelhouse is?
that's 78,
Yeah, well this that's
78-ish.
this is 86, but it's still I know you can still
Oh
find
yeah.
it in it. Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Send it on.
yeah, and I still gotta send you fantasy. I gotta go back on the living room computer and send that out. But yeah, man, that's what I got. Just some notes. I'm still trying to look. I still got 2 instrumental albums to release, and about all those beats, I'm about to go through and think of like two more think series, and um think of two more. I think I got enough beats for like two more projects. I'm calling it the summertime joint. Is gonna be summery, uplifting, put your sunroof down type beats, all those beats that sound like that I've created, I'm gonna put in one thing and call it the summertime joint. So when you on your way to the beach or whatever, or that warm night, I love driving around that night when it's warm with the sunroof open in my AC on low and just drive through the city with some good vibey music on. So summertime joint that'll be later on, but glitches in the matrix and and the subtleties of change are in the can. Me and Jamal, we just dropped Moorish Legacy, so I'm gonna let that live a minute, and then I'm gonna double back on these two instrumental projects, and then I'm gonna start listening through all the beats. Thanks, Lance. And then I'm gonna start listening to all the beats to formulate the summertime joint instrumental album, and uh and that's what I got on the personal side with the music.
Bet. My bad. I was trying to type to um well, we hope to be coming out with, I'll just say something else. We'll say that for now. Something else real soon. Hopefully around the June-ish time, you know.
Yes. It
Um,
could possibly be another summertime joint.
yeah. Old 5-pack for y'all. And real quick, I invite you on a personal note, invite you to go over to mastersofthecosmos.com. There's all types of things over there. Learning tools, books, all types of stuff. If you want to probe more of how my mind works, I also have astrological readings available. If you want to get one, you can just look around, peruse the site. It's a lot going on over there. And other than that, I just want to thank everybody for rocking with us, as usual.
Yes,
On
thanks
Friday night.
Thanks for hanging out. Greatly appreciate it. Go to Bandcamp, Cop Moorish Legacy, man. I just uploaded it. I got an email earlier about some of the tracks that Apple wasn't gonna accept one of the tracks and all that. So I redid everything, and so far it looks good. So by the end of the week, you guys should be able to find uh Moorish Legacy on the streaming services, at least the major ones. Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, all that stuff. By the end of the week, that should be up. As long as I don't get no emails back saying somebody's not accepting something or whatever. So yeah. And it's
But
also
go to Bandcamp. Go to Bandcamp.
Bandcamp, just so y'all know, Bandcamp support us. Like Bandcamp, if y'all purchase something that comes to us, we put the money back into the music. So so Bandcamp is a tool for independent artists. It's not a streaming service. They will let you stream maybe once or twice, and then they're gonna ask you to purchase. So, if you all really like the music and y'all want to support the music, y'all can go head over to Bandcamp. It's in the banner right now. It'll pull you up to all our music that's over there on the Bandcamp. We have a nice catalog of music over there, and just go indulge in it, man. You might hear something else you like too. You could buy a whole project. You can buy individual tracks, and and some stuff over there they have it's called pay what you. It's not. I'm paraphrasing, but you can pay what you want. Some stuff we have like a price for. Some stuff I think we may have just on there, and but yeah, please head over there, and if you want to support, we would love it, and we're gonna keep pushing this art forward, man. Good feedback, and people seem to like it, so we're gonna keep pushing. Peace, serious. So yeah, please check us out.
No doubt.
And thanks for everyone that checked in.
What's that?
I said thanks to everyone that checked in. Freddie Callie, Lance, Wise Feminine, sorry. King T, my wife Bree. Nate was here. BK Trainer popped in.
Yeah.
Nene dropped in. Sirius's wife. So yeah, man. Thanks for everyone that tuned in, and thank you to all who may watch the replay. We greatly appreciate it.
We'll catch y'all on the top side. Y'all be easy.
Be easy. Peace.
Peace.